Hi, I'm Harshil Patel, and today I want to share my experience as an AI engineer intern at Recruit Magic. So, here I've been building AI and automation tools for legal recruiting. So, a little bit background about the company. Recruit Magic is a tech platform that's actually changing how legal recruiting works. We do use AI and automation tools to help recruiters match attorneys with job opportunities at law firms. So the platform basically cuts down a lot of manual work which goes on to recruitments in these law firms, making placements like much better on our platform. So as an AI engineer intern, I have been building features that directly affect how legal professionals find new job opportunities. So in my role as an AI engineer intern, I really did wear many different hats. For full stack development, I built complete features from the user's interface all the way up to the backend, including the testing as well. For AI integration, I worked with voice technology and machine learning to create smart automation features. For workflow automation, I moved our old legacy systems to newer ones where our data processing was much smoother and also increased the observability of how everything works. With respect to the research, I looked onto the new technologies and different service providers to find the best solutions for our platform. And what's really exciting here is that every single project that I worked on directly impacts on how the company operates. And let's move on to the projects that I worked on. So one of my coolest projects was building a phone system that uses AI for voice messages. So I built a complete voice communication system with AI features, creating functions for managing calls, processing webhooks, and handling voicemails. So this is essentially a telephonic system within our platform. And what's really interesting about this project is the feature where I built a voice cloning feature where a recruiter calls a candidate. If they call a candidate and they don't pick up, our system automatically creates a personalized message using the recruiter's actual voice. So the AI actually looks at the candidate's background, their experience, what kind of job they were trying to fill, and then like writes a detailed message that's specifically relevant to that person. This actually lets recruiters stay personal and authentic even when they are reaching out to lots of people automatically. Another big project was moving our entire workflow system to a newer platform. So I took all of the critical business processes and moved them to a modern system that's much more reliable and costs less to run. So this actually meant rewriting tons of different workflows, things like evaluating attorneys, processing emails, matching jobs with candidates, and enriching our data. And the results were really good. We made job processing much faster, fixed a lot of issues where things would fall silently, and also saved a lot of money. This project also taught me uh, how the decisions about what type of decisions to make when building systems, where systems affect everything down the road, both how easy they are to maintain and how well they can grow. The next project is about testing. So we had to make sure that our code works properly, and that was one of the most important things when real people are using it. So I built a complete end-to-end testing from scratch. So I set up testing standards for our React app and created tons of tests that checks everything, including logging in, filtering data, pagination, and how users interact with different parts of the platform. So this testing framework has really cut down on bugs making it to production. And like now the whole engineering team follows the testing standards I did set up. So it feels great knowing that when we ship code, it's been thoroughly tested and actually works. So beyond building features, I also did a lot of research that actually turned into real products. So I focused on three main areas. The first one was LinkedIn integration research. So the aim was to make our customers do a lot of LinkedIn stuff on our platform. So after comparing a bunch of options, I made a complete integration that lets our users send connection requests, view profiles, and send messages from the platform itself. So the second machine learning classification research was the one where I looked into whether we could replace some expensive third-party services with our own machine learning models. So I tested out different approaches and found out that we could save a lot of money while building in-house solutions. And the cool thing was that the research product projects didn't just sit on the shelf; they actually became features that users could use. So this internship has been an amazing learning journey for me for learning about technical skills. I got really good at context engineering, which is basically organizing your code and documentation in a way that AI tools can understand and help you code faster. So I built web applications using TypeScript, React, and Node.js that can handle lots of users. For database work, I learned how to write complex queries for managing database changes and set up security rules for production systems. And for AI and machine learning, I worked with voice-based models and technologies, classification models, and also automation features. But honestly, beyond just the technical stuff, I learned how to build systems that can actually grow with the company, how to make decisions that won't basically bite you later, and how to take what the business needs and turn it into a whole working software. So one of the most crucial skills I've developed here was context engineering, which really is about changing how developers work with AI to become much more productive. And context engineering is basically organizing your code and documentation in a way that makes AI tools really understand what you're trying to do. I spent time writing really good documentation throughout our code base, setting up clear patterns and keeping detailed technical specs. And this actually created an environment where tools like Cloud Code and Cursor actually understand my code deeply and give me really helpful and accurate suggestions, as well as in guiding me on what would work and what would break in production. So because of this, it made me really fast at coding. I could build complex features much quicker while keeping the code quality high as well. And this is especially helpful during that big workflow migration project where the AI could actually understand both our old system as well as our new one and actually help me write the migration code that followed all of our patterns from our legacy systems. So this internship was a perfect match for what I've been learning at Stevens. I used concepts from deep learning and mathematical foundations of machine learning when I was designing our in-house classification systems and doing the research on it, and also understanding how embedding works and figuring out which model architectures would work best for text classification. I also applied cloud computing principles when building serverless functions, setting up webhook processing, and figuring out how to deploy machine learning models at scale. I also use a lot of concurrent programming concepts during the workflow migration, things like running tasks in parallel and handling race conditions in user authentication flows as well as other workflows. And it's been really cool to see stuff I learned in class actually solve really good business problems. And okay, so looking back on what I learned as a founding AI engineer and how handling front end, back end, and AI and research all at once usually made me stronger, I have three main takeaways. First, building things that lots of people will use requires a different mindset. So basically, when you're building production system, you have to think about how easy they'll be to maintain and how you'll monitor them, and also how to handle errors properly right from the start. Second, owning projects end to end makes you much more versatile. So when you wear multiple hats, you take projects from just an idea all the way to something users actually use, and you learn skills across the whole development process. Next was context engineering, which I already covered in the previous slides, which actually makes you way more productive. When you organize your code so AI can understand it, you can code way faster while still keeping your code quality high. So these lessons have completely changed how I think about building a software end to end, and it's actually really prepared me for working with AI as a developer. So the CPT internship at Recruit Magic has been an incredible experience that's really prepared me for my career in AI engineering, which is actually my passion. So I got to work on like projects that actually matter, see how my work directly impacts the business, and also develop both my technical and professional skills that I'm going to be using throughout my career. Thank you.